Hey, welcome to Thinking is Contagious. Some food for thought. Do I look like a socialist? That's the question Joe Biden asks in an ad. Do I look like a socialist? Let me ask you, what if a affirmative statement were made to you that said, you look like a socialist? You look like a homosexual. You look like you're straight. You look like a feminist. You look like a, a male chauvinistic pig. You look like a bigot. You look like a racist. You look like a white supremacist. You look like a terrorist. How would that go? Is that stereotyping? So why is not the question, do I look like a socialist, stereotyping? Of course it is. And that is Joe Biden. And that is the Democratic Party. They think, they think that you can't reason this out. That they can get by saying this. Just because they're promising you free things, you're going to look the other way when they do things, say things like this. That's who they are. They're not giving you anything. Okay? When they come out with free, what if the word free was replaced by subsidized? Yeah, that's what it is. Free education, free medicine. Someone's got to pay the professors, someone's got to pay the doctors. Somebody's got to pay the overhead of the facilities. Somebody's got to pay the maintenance of the facilities, the electric, the water, the taxes, the infrastructure, the salaries. All that's got to be paid for. And remember, the government produces no income. The government collects. Okay? The government collects money. From who? From the taxpayer. Again, we go back to free versus subsidized. If we told everyone, hey, it's subsidized, you're subsidizing it for those who are not paying for the services, how do you think that would go over? You think that that would sort of, in some way, shape, or form, sway the mindset and tip the vote? I'm not going to tell you that it takes away the vote completely, but it sure as hell is going to slant it a lot more towards the tax-paying public saying, hey, you know what, I really don't want to subsidize to this extent. And that doesn't mean that you can't be benevolent and we don't subsidize the people that really need it. But see, the problem here is that the government cannot tell you or me that they have been good stewards of our tax dollars. They're not. They throw them away because there's no accountability. Okay? We pay plenty of taxes right now. Corporate America pays enough taxes. Okay? Even with the Trump tax cut, okay, corporate America is in this a level playing field with the rest of the world corporate tax-wise. Okay? Are there some tax loopholes in our corporate tax structure that maybe needs to be looked at? Maybe. I'm not saying no. But I'll tell you what, the bigger problem is not to penalize corporations and take more of what they make. The best solution is to make sure corporations make more and that they pay taxes on more income. Okay? That doesn't mean you take away their benefits. That doesn't mean you take away their deductions completely. We can analyze and see, is there somewhere that we need to fine-tune it and make it a little fairer? That's fine. That is open. But number one, accountability, quit throwing away our money. That's number one. I guarantee you, just with that line item, waste, fraud, indifference, lack of accountability, the dollars attributed that fall through the cracks of those factors, if those are put back into the coffers of the government, we're not talking about increasing taxes on anybody. But you see, you give the government taxes, you give the government a tax increase, you give the government a budget, and they will exceed that budget no matter what happens. You know why? Because it's the feeding trough for them. And that's what they live off of. So we cannot keep giving. We need to tell them we want an accountability for what you're spending before we give you any more. The answer is not the Green New Deal. The answer is not raising taxes on Americans. The answer is not, that is not it. And by the way, and I'm not saying it's right that any corporation pays zero taxes. I need to analyze and see how they get to zero and if it really is zero. But let me tell you, let's suppose for the hell of it that Amazon pays no taxes. How much salaries does Amazon pay to its workers? How many employees does Amazon? How many people has Amazon set up with their delivery program where they finance a business for you? They provide 5, 10 vans. They put a financing structure together. They give you a route. They give you product. They give you a delivery schedule. Okay? Yeah, you got to put some money into it. But they're setting that up for you. How much is that worth to our economy? So you're going to go back and shoot yourself in the foot and say, hey, Amazon, you got to pay more. It's just going to trickle down and affect those businesses on the street level. It's like the brilliant, the economist, AOC, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, when she chased Amazon away from Long Island in New York and celebrated because she said, oh, it would have cost us $3 billion in subsidies. Even the clueless de Blasio, said, you're nuts. You just cost us $27 billion in revenue. This is the socialist mindset. And she says, oh, we can use the $3 billion, which New York doesn't have, by the way, doesn't have. We can use the $3 billion to pay our teachers and fix our subways. Socialism. Socialism. Fixing the subway doesn't produce anything. Paying the teachers should be paid based on supply and demand, what the marketplace dictates, not what a union dictates. It's not a free system when a union's involved. Or AOC, you know what? Stick to community activists, stick to radical, stick to those things. Stay away from economics because you embarrass yourself and you embarrass all of us. Finally, and I touched on this before, it's incredible to me that after watching that vice presidential debate, that anyone could even fathom that Kamala Harris is anything but incompetent, unprepared, in over her head, and absolutely not the best candidate to be the vice president on the Democratic ticket. Absolutely. Biden and Harris together don't equal one Pence, Trump. Not at all. Pence spoke, and it was like you're speaking to the guy, you're speaking to the engineer of a building, a construction, the architect of a construction of a building, and you're speaking to them, and they know everything from A to Z, nuts to bolts, and how it was put together. That's what you get with Pence. It was obvious. Any topic he spoke on, he had walked that walk. You switch to Kamala. Smirks, snickers, this air of, I'm smarter than you. I will not be lectured to. Because you know what? When she spoke on a topic, you could tell that she had no clue. She was surface, superficial. In depth, how the issues tied together to be able to speak on a topic, the underlying factors that make that topic a talking point that you want to address, She has no clue. She can't connect the dots. Joe Biden, you're obvious what you did. And you said it early on. I have to give you credit. My vice presidential candidate is going to be a woman. So you told us beforehand. I'm not looking at the entire playing field here, guys. But America deserves a look at the entire playing field for someone who could potentially be the president of the United States. We didn't get that. And it was obvious that debate night. And people, we have to jump on that point. We have to jump on that point. We were shortchanged with the choice of Kamala Harris. The Democratic ticket needs to be voided because of that. It is not in the best interest of the American people that that ticket move forward. Those are my points of view. I know they are strong in one direction, but I think that they're pretty worthy of consideration, and I would love to hear some contrasting points of view. I've asked, you guys, if you like what you're listening to, you appreciate it, you share it, you subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, by the way. Just hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. It'll help us out, keep me motivated, keep me going, and hopefully that we achieve what we're trying to achieve, which is get everybody thinking about what's going on around them so that we have a better America. Thank you.